Good evening from the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A US official says North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un plans to travel to Russia this month to meet President Vladimir Putin. The official said the two leaders will discuss the possibility of North Korea providing Moscow with weapons to support its war in Ukraine. The exact location of the planned meeting is not yet clear. There was no immediate comment on the report, also carried by other US media, from North Korea or Russia. Sources told the New York Times that Mr. Kim was most likely to travel by armored train. The possible meeting comes after the White House said it had new information that arms negotiations between the two countries were actively advancing. A photo posted online appears to show a Russian general who has not been seen in public since a mutiny by the Wagner mercenary group in June. Sergei Surovkin is said to have been close to Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, who died in a plane crash last month. There have been reports that General Surovkin is being investigated for possible complicity in the mutiny, but a photo purporting to show Russia's former commander in Ukraine has now been published on social media. A Japanese man has pleaded guilty to starting a fire at a popular animation studio that killed 36 people. The Kyoto animation studio blaze on the 18th of July 2019 was one of Japan's worst ever murder cases. Many of those killed were young animators trapped on the upper floor, and another 32 people were injured. While prosecutors are likely to seek the death penalty, Shinji Aoba's defense lawyers are seeking an acquittal, citing mental incompetence. His motives are unclear, but reports say Aoba accused Kyoto Animation of stealing his work, which the studio has denied. African leaders have arrived at the inaugural African Climate Summit being held in Nairobi, including Salva Kiir of Sudan, Paul Kagame of Rwanda, and the US Special Envoy on Climate, John Kerry. The African Union Commission chairperson, Deputy President Jeffrey Rigathi Gachagua, were there to greet the leaders as they entered the venue. The summit is focused on mobilizing financing for Africa's response to climate change. According to researchers, while Africa is suffering from some of the most severe impacts of climate change, the continent only receives about 12% of the financing it needs to cope. A boy has survived deadly floods in Spain by climbing up a tree and holding on to it overnight. The authorities said his family's car had been swept into a river and the boy's father was still missing. At least 3 people have died and another 3 are missing as record rainfall caused flooding in central Spain, that's according to police. Bridges were torn down and roads turned into rivers of mud in the heaviest hit regions southwest of Madrid. Meanwhile, flooded streets have also hit southeastern China after storms from now weakened Typhoon Haikui made landfall. Here, the coastal province of Fujian, with water flowing around vehicles stranded on streets. Severe areas in Fujian recorded more than 1 foot of rainfall in just over 24 hours. Burning Man organizers have reopened the road leading out of the remote Nevada Desert Festival, allowing tens of thousands of attendees to escape after they were trapped for days by mud. But many of the 64,000 people who remained on site as of Monday may choose to stay one more night and watch the festival's giant namesake effigy go up in flames. When the road finally reopened, a long line of vehicles snaked through the desert, inching along in an epic traffic jam as event organizers urged drivers to take it slowly on Monday and considered delaying their departure until Tuesday to reduce traffic. And the Queen frontman Freddie Mercury's piano will be auctioned on Wednesday. The singer composed the 1975 Queen epic Bohemian Rhapsody on the black Yamaha piano. It is estimated to sell for £2 to £3 million. Thousands of items belonging to the late Queen singer are being sold in several separate auctions.
This is a man's life in the round, his private world, his public world. It's not just about beautiful things, the beautiful things Freddie liked to surround himself with. It's about his own history, the moments in his career, his professional career as the great stage master, you know, the man who created some of the most memorable lyrics of the late 20th century.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.